How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody had a good week so far, anyway. So I got one more day left of the week before the weekend gets here. We just got home not too long ago, so I figured I'd go live real quick tonight. Hey Joshua, how you doing? Not much, just figured I'd go live, see how everybody's doing. Ain't too much going on. You still in the hospital? I've been sick most of this week, so still trying to get over it. That's good. You have anything exciting happen for you this week?
I don't know if he's still in the hospital.
So I've been sick about all week and I ain't had the energy to do nothing. You're going home tomorrow? That's awesome. So you've been in there over a week, haven't you? Did they get you all fixed up? Hey Jamie, how you doing?
That's Pizza Boy, right?
Mm-hmm. Missed the past few lives. Yeah. I haven't had too many lives lately. So I've been sick since Sunday, so I haven't been doing much of anything. And you've been in there 2 weeks now? Yeah. It's never fun. When I was in there about a week. I'm doing pretty good. I mean, other than, being sick all week. Just about over it, I guess. Feels like it. Jamie, yeah. We were been grocery shopping the last few hours.
It's 5:30.
So, you guys have anything interesting happen this week? Daughter turned 20, took him out to the Mexican joint. That's fun. It's always fun going out to the Mexican restaurant.
Fun, but
Hmm.
it's always good.
Well, wouldn't it be fun? Margaritas are no joke. Yeah, never had one. Yeah, Josh, well, I'm glad you're doing better. I hope they get it figured out and hope it don't take too long. Say, when I was in the hospital, I was in there for a week, and I don't plan on going back too soon. So
Oh, you have a doctor's appointment next week.
I don't.
Tuesday.
I doubt it. Yeah, it's not fun. It's one of those ones that just kind of drains my energy, and I've been able to sleep. So, was it Wednesday? I think it was. Yeah, Wednesday. I didn't. I wasn't able to fall asleep till almost 8 o'clock in the morning, and then woke up at 11. So that makes it pretty rough. Makes it when you don't really want to do anything, but you still got to. So. We've been pricing new insurance companies to see if we can get cheaper insurance. And we went in and talked to a guy at State Farm today, and that was probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had with somebody in my life. Yeah. So we've had quite a bit of rain here, but the last 2 days, I mean, have been super windy, like ridiculously windy. And then they're talking about storms coming in like Sunday. So we'll see. We still, it's springtime, so there's gonna be lots of rain come our way. We've already had, I'd say we've probably already had 4 or 5 inches in the last month, but still got more coming.
Oh, the river's flowing out back.
Mhm.
Our stream.
Yeah, I won't say we're not getting it. We might get more snow later on, but haven't said anything about any yet. But we've been known to get snow in April before, so.
We got snow last week, it just didn't.
Yeah, a lot of people here, they like the State Farm, and when we called them, they quoted us $100 a month cheaper than we were paying. But we went in there, and I did not. I don't like that guy at all. I mean, he was very pushy, and he just was trying to sell a bunch of stuff. Like he was trying to sell us life insurance and medical. It was like a medical payment insurance and all kinds of stuff. Just he reminded me of like a door-to-door salesman.
Can't think of his name.
Definitely not somebody I want to do business with. Hey, set on sign. How are you doing?
We might be able to work with the other guy that works there.
No, I can't think of his name. I know him.
Caleb.
I know him from high school. Caleb Littlefield. There's a guy that I'm friends with on Facebook that keeps telling me to call his wife. I guess she has an office up
Sid.
north. No, it's not from around here. She's with State Farm, but I guess she's farther up north. Yeah, I mean, it was not the greatest experience. Like, I almost walked out a couple of times, but, like, I was trying to be nice and, sit there, but, yeah, I don't know. Some people, I don't know. It's like, now we're just looking to see if, we're pricing insurance to see about getting cheaper insurance because the insurance we have, just every year it goes up like $15, $20, and it never goes down. And we've never, I mean, I don't know, so. We called them about, if they could redo the insurance or rewrite it and maybe get it cheaper, and they won't do nothing. And we called 4 other companies, and everybody else is at least $70 to $80 cheaper per month. And Allstate was going to be, was it like $90 cheaper?
State Farm.
Yeah, State Farm was going to be $90 cheaper than what we're paying now, and it was twice the coverage. Sounds good, Joshua. I appreciate it. You know your insurance is cheap. Yeah. Well, this was gonna be I think 146 a month for full coverage on 2 vehicles. And right now we've been paying like 232, I think. And I've been telling my wife, I'm like, yeah, that's too much. The $230 a month for 2 vehicles is too much. So we called a couple places, and yeah, State Farm. For if we went with the same insurance plan we have now, it would have been $112 through State Farm. But then they could do, actually, I think it was triple the coverage, and it would have been $146 a month. So
It's triple.
I'm thinking we're probably going to go with State Farm. I don't think we're gonna go with that office.
Yeah, that or just talk to the guy that works there.
Nationwide, yeah. So we've had Allstate for 7 years probably, and the guy that owns the office is one of my best friends. Actually, the main land that I trap on, he's the guy that owns the office or runs the office, whatever you want to call it. And we've been with him for years, and yeah, they wouldn't. I we called and see if they could do anything, and they're like, "So yeah, we have you down for all of our discounts. We really can't do anything else." My wife's like, or I was like, "Well," I said, "We called State Farm and they quoted us $100 cheaper a month than you guys." She's like, $100 cheaper? I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, they can't stick with that price." She said when uh, she said that when people do claims, that it goes up. And it's like, yeah, but almost $100 a month is a lot cheaper, not just a little bit cheaper. You use shelter insurance, yeah, 375 every 6 months. I'm good on General Geico. I think those are the ones that people go to when they have a lot of tickets or wrecks in their history. Because everybody I know that goes to Geico or the General have had multiple tickets or a couple wrecks. And they're about the only people that will even give them insurance.
We want someone local, so if anything happens, we can go there.
Hmm. So, and it's not like we're trying to get the absolute cheapest thing out there. Like we're want good insurance, but $230 a month is ridiculous. For a car that's 7 years old and a truck that's what 17 years old. So I don't know. We'll get it figured out. Some of that stuff's just crazy expensive. That's when we went into the State Farm. The guy we talked to him on the phone yesterday, and we went in there today. And to start off, he didn't even remember talking to us at all. And then 5 minutes after being there, he was trying to sell us a $1 million insurance policy for $68 a month. That's like, no. Do you have to get a free gift when ordering? What do you mean? Do you have to get a free gift when ordering? There's options on the website to add free gifts. They have different value amounts. you only get a free gift if the value of your order equals what you pick. I had somebody order, what was it, one bottle of lure and then tried adding a bunch of free gifts. And it's like, that's not how that works. Turn 30, your rate dropped, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm not trying to get the cheapest thing out there possible because I still want good insurance. It's gonna work, But when you're paying that much in insurance, I mean, I think $232 a month is what we're paying now. I mean, that's crazy. That's just for two vehicles.
It's Nathan.
Hmm.
I knew him from somewhere. Remember that day that I told you I picked up the lady on the side of the road because her car was broke down?
So,
It was his wife.
uh, I've had Blakely's trapping supplies since January of last year, but I've been selling trapping supplies since 2018. Yeah, I know that, but we have home insurance through our mortgage company. Yeah, see, I don't even get on TikTok very much anymore. I get tagged in videos all the time on TikTok, and I used to watch them all and stuff like that, but after all that drama crap happened, a couple, was it 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I could care less anymore. I mean, I haven't done a live on TikTok in over 2 weeks, probably been pushing 3 weeks. I just don't care about it anymore. I'm kind of just waiting for my main profile to get taken down. Alright, Southern Sign sounds good. Yeah, I've been doing the monthly boxes for a year now, and we've done fairly good on them. I try to keep them changed up every week, or every month, to have a lot, completely different items, so people aren't seeing the same thing over and over and over. They're not on TikTok. I swear there's somebody on TikTok that has the name Set on Sign. He's listening to my Bible. I appreciate that, Jamie. Yeah, the cheesecake was good. Say there is a TikTok with the name Set on Sign, and it's probably, I'd say I showed up probably a month ago, maybe, and they do a lot of videos of like old collectible traps. If I'm thinking of the right one, anyways.
I can look it up.
I know there is one. said on sign. Most of the videos are like old collector's traps. Hey PA, how you doing today? Or tonight? Hmm? What? Yeah, my wife's looking at it now. Yeah, we talk quite a bit actually. Not as much as we were for a while because we're just, we're both so busy anymore.
They're tagged you in a video.
Yeah, he does in most of the videos.
And Chris and Camel Papa.
I think last time I talked to Jay was,
Live.
no, last night. It was yesterday or Tuesday. No, because somebody was using his music
Oh yeah.
on their
YouTube.
YouTube. Hey Ben, how you doing tonight? So did anybody have anything interesting or good happen this week? Joshua said hi Sky, I can hear you in the background. We'll start fishing soon. Yeah. I want to start fishing soon, but it's all about, if we get the time to do it. Get YouTube vids only. Yeah. Well, there's somebody on TikTok that's got the name set on sign.
I can't.
Hmm.
They only have.
Yeah, I told him about it, and he was just gonna go check it out.
They only have 118 followers.
Yeah, I told Jay, said this guy's using the same song you use in your intro video in his intro. He's like, no. He's like, I've never actually watched one of his videos. I said, yeah. I said, it's on his most recent video. He's like, I want to go check it out. I said, all right. See about getting a nuisance. A nuisance what? Like a license? How else can I make cable anchors without those connectors? You mean the ferrules? You can take a cable and just use it on, like wrap the cable around a tree or something like that. Took the wife to WrestleMania in Texas last weekend. It was a fun getaway. Yeah, I bet it was. Well, there's a ton of people there too. License for no problem beaver. Yeah. See, here we don't have to have a license. Uh, just it's I don't know. I've kind of tried to advertise for it, but I get a mix of people that are against trapping that want to um, people that are against trapping that just want to talk crap about it, and other people that do nuisance work that think I'm trying to take over their business. Um, it's hard to advertise for, that's for sure. 78,000 on the ground, yeah. I seen the thing where they think that WWE lies about their attendance, but I don't know. They said that because they said they was gonna have 65,000 tickets available this year, and then they said 78,000 people were in attendance. It don't really make a lot of sense. Made a new friend during that. During what? Oh, you talking about Sean? Is that what you're talking about? I think your definition of friend is wrong, sir. Haven't trapped a coyote in years. Yeah, coyotes are probably one of my favorite things to trap. You know, I like to trap everything, but coyotes are my number one. I like to trap fox and bobcat too, but I'd say coyotes probably my number one. And we just have here, we have a very high number of coyotes. Very good. Well, I wouldn't say good, but there's quite a few here. Big population of them. Yeah, that Sean guy was definitely something else.
I guess I don't know what you're talking about.
What? Jamie said you made a new friend during that laugh aloud.
I don't get it.
Talking about the when I was advertising for the nuisance.
Oh,
The Sean guy from
that dumbass.
yeah, from Vermont or whatever it was.
I thought it was from Florida.
His business is from Vermont. I guess he just goes to Florida a lot. Yeah, I know. He knows what he's talking about, yeah. He told me he was coming to my neck of the woods because he was teaching a seminar on nuisance trapping. And it's like, that's funny because I've never even heard of anything like that around here, so. You live in Virginia? See, I know a bunch of people live in West Virginia and they catch a bunch of them. That's when Sean, he took a picture of some bird license that he had got that and posted it. Yeah, pretty much. But he took a picture of like some bird license that he had to trap birds. He's like, "This is one that I have. What do you have?" I was like, "I'm a trapper, not a bird watcher." Gonna stick himself in a trap. No, he's just a professional trapper, and he knows more than everybody.
He's a Mr. Know-it-all.
I know many top trappers that he's told them that he's a better trapper than them. All the way from Scott with 330 Maniac to Nick Ernie of RBG Traps to Sky Goody in Wisconsin. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. That'd be funny, a woodpecker. He's trying to peck on the wrong wood. He's a freaking nuisance, yeah. It didn't kill it. Yeah. Yeah, the guy was definitely something. He's one of those people that I said he's somebody that has nothing of value to offer. So he just tries to start crap with everybody to be in the spotlight. A lot of free nuisance trappers here. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that my response on reporting him? They denied it.
They always do. Yeah. See, my thing is, I'm not so much want to get into the nuisance part, like, getting bats at attics or squirrels or stuff like that. I'm wanting to get, like, farmers that are needing coyotes trapped off their farm because they're messing with everything. That's more or less the stuff I want to get into. Or somebody that's got, too many raccoons in their cornfield. Like that's the kind of stuff I want to get into. Ben, yeah, everybody's caught something. I mean, I've caught a couple crows this year. I caught a hawk. I caught a cow, a calf.
You're a professional cow catcher.
Hmm. Swear today feels like Friday. Caught some kitties. Yep, I've done that too. What do you do if coyotes don't commit to your set? Like, what do you mean? Like, are you saying they're not walking all the way into your set? Or are you talking about, like, having misses? I didn't have to worry about releasing him because when I pulled up, there was two other hawks there that have already killed him. So what I do is if I have a coyote that's not getting all like not walking all the way up to my set, is a lot of times I'll put a blind set, I'll take a trap and just blindly set it about 18 to 24 inches behind the trap that I have, and maybe over about 4 inches. So that's what I normally do if I know something's coming in regularly but not going all the way into my set. I will I'll put a blind set in and I'll do about 18 to 24 inches back and about 4 to 6 inches off to the side. Because normally when they come in around the back, they'll step in that blind set before they get into your set. And a lot of the times when you go up there, you'll end up having the coyote in both traps. Never seen a coyote from camera, just fox. That's crazy. Hey, dear Slayer, how you doing? Yeah. When I pulled up, I didn't know what it was because, like, I came over the hill. There's a hill here and then it goes down. There's another hill and my trap was setting out there. And I came over this hill and I just seen a bunch of white out there. And I was like, what in the world? I was like, the whole time driving there, I was trying to think of what I could have caught that had that much white in it. And then I got about 50 yards from the trap and I was like, that's a hawk. And I seen two hawks fly off there right beside it. And I was like, oh, I've done it, Jamie. I just took a pretty big tree branch that had like a fork in it and stuck that tree branch over the cat and then stepped on the trap and let it out. Yeah, it wasn't a very happy cat.
Which one was that one?
The orange one. Alright, well, thanks for coming in tonight and chatting with us. Hope you have a good night. Um, so I don't know how long I'll be tonight. Just figured I'd hop on and do a quick one.
I guess Audra asked me who did that to us at State Farm.
Elliot.
Yeah. And she's like, was it Caleb at State Farm? I was like, no, it wasn't Caleb. And I've been like trying to think of his name. I looked it up and I told her. She's like, well, I told Kristen about it. She said it was probably Nathan. She said she was sorry that she'll have to talk to him about it. She's the owner,
Yeah.
Kristen.
Oh, I thought Sean owned it.
It's Kristen and Sean.
Uh-huh. When you release it. Yeah, the first one that we had, my wife just went up there and picked it up and was petting it, and I just took the trap off of it. And that was a number three Bridger. But then the orange cat we got about a week later, it acted just like a bobcat. I mean, as soon as we pull up, it was hissing and throwing its paw around, jumping around. She's like, "How do we let this one out?" I said, "I'm gonna go get me a big stick with a fork in it, and we're gonna hold it down." Wanted you to hold it, yeah. The one we brought home, my wife brought home because she thought it would stay at the house, but I was like, it won't stay. She set it down, and it was about 13 milliseconds, and it took off running. I was like, it knows where it's from. It'll go back. It's like, 'cause that one obviously belongs to somebody. It's nice and calm as it
Yeah, it
was.
belonged to me at this house.
Yeah. And I caught a dog this year that was out in BFE that I almost brought home, but I didn't. It was a boxer pup. It was white and it had like black spots in it, and it was a very very calm dog. It's a female that had just had puppies. I mean, you could obviously tell because of her nipples, but she was very calm, and I let her out of the trap, and I went and checked the rest of my line, and it was probably a good 2.5 hours before I came back, and she was still laying there beside the trap. And I thought about it. I thought about, loading her up, bringing her home. I was like, well, since she just had puppies, so I'm sure she needs to go to her puppies. And then I was like, well, I'll just leave, and if she's here in the morning, I'll bring her home. And she wasn't there.
Yeah, that's when I cleaned my car out and gave her all
Mm-hmm.
the.
Number three, yeah. The orange cat, I caught it in the new Alpha trap. That cat did not like it. Yeah, if I had money, I would buy me a couple dozen of those Alpha traps. I'm gonna say that while my wife's sitting over there so she knows.
Christmas.
Yeah. The only way I'm gonna get Alpha traps is if somebody just hands them to me.
I told you, you can order your own stuff.
Yeah, they're too expensive. I'm not gonna order them. They're $280 a dozen.
Just whatever you spend on you, you gotta spend on me.
No. You selling them? Selling what?
Alphas.
If you're talking about the alphas, no. MB, Minnesota, Cavins, they did not offer them to any dealers, which is a very screwy thing to do because they told everybody that they were, and then when they finally released them, they didn't, and they've been released for almost a year now, and they're still not available for dealers. So, which sucks because I had about 6 people lined up to buy some. And yeah, they're $280 a dozen. All right, Joshua, you have a good night, man. I know you'll have a good day tomorrow because you get to go home. So, how many of you have watched very many of my like recipe type videos? I know there's only a couple of you on here, but how many of you seen one of my recipe type videos, and how many of you like the videos? Joshua, I appreciate it. I'll have me a hot sauce available soon. Yeah, I don't even remember what all the ones I've done. I know I've done
2 cheesecakes.
the cheesecake. The one was they were the cream cheese puff pastry.
You did 2. Well,
Yeah.
you videoed one. I don't know if you posted it.
No, didn't. I just took pictures of them. And then I know I've done the chicken one. My blue cake. Yeah, the cheesecake. Yeah. Because, I mean, I've thought about doing more of the videos, but I don't know um, how many people get, or how many people like the videos. Yeah, that's when I made the cheesecake
Oh.
pastries.
Shut up!
Mm.
I was thinking about the other
Yeah, I was
one.
making the cheesecake. It's gonna be vanilla, and I just happened to look up and seen a bunch of food coloring. I was like, I'm just gonna throw some
Oh,
food
no,
coloring in
you
there.
did, right there. Boom.
So I said I took pictures of them. I didn't do the recipe. That's why they say limit 2 dozen on the website. So no dealers with them. Yeah, just them. They didn't. They don't even give us a price for them or anything. Which is, I mean, it's messed up because I had 3 or 4 people that wanted to buy a dozen, and I had a couple people that wanted to buy like a half dozen or just 2 or 3 to try out. And actually, when I went to the NTA last year, that was the first time that they were gonna have them available. So I bought a half dozen because I had 4 people that was wanting to buy one trap because they wanted to see them. So I told them, I said I'll pick some up at the NTA, and these were people that were wanting to buy the traps from me. So I bought a half dozen, and I sent them to these people, and they all wanted to buy them from me. And then it finally came time for them to be available, and I didn't have prices on them. So it is what it is, I guess.
That's
Seems like anything involving food gets attention. Hey, Internet Vet, how you doing? Yep, cheesecake. You like the cheesecake one? Alright. Say, eventually I'm going to get into making a couple cast iron cooking videos. But that'll be later on because that takes a whole lot more prep work than just making something inside.
You could make a video of the bonding thing.
Doing the what? Say who? The huh? The video you making a bunny. I don't know what's going on over here.
My bunny, whatever it's called, I don't even know.
Internet Vet, Joshua said that he has gotten his movement back and he's getting to go home from the hospital tomorrow. And then he's going to meet with his surgeon to talk about his next surgery. So was that cream cheese you used? Because it sounded like you said it was not. Let me go get one of those. It's like cream cheese, but it's a low fat. I can't pronounce the word. It starts with an N. But it's a lot cheaper, and that's why I buy it. It's like new. I don't know. You pronounce it. This is what I buy. It's the same thing as cream cheese, but this is This at Walmart is $1.30, and cream cheese is almost $2. So that's why I buy these. They taste the same. So, less fat as just, I guess an extra bonus. I don't know. Hey, Billingsley, how you doing? We're doing good. Walmart don't sell that brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should. I know. I don't see Best Choice much of anything at Walmart. No, actually, I didn't buy these at Walmart. I bought these at a different grocery store tonight. But Walmart sells this cheese, the same name, whatever it's called, It's not best choice though. Don't look at that. They sell that though. But I normally buy it. But I think these were $1.30 when cream cheese is almost $2. But they're the exact same thing.
It's $1.49.
$1.49 at Walmart. So that's, if that's shown very well, that's Walmart's great value. $1.49. It still hasn't even showed up on your camera.
That's because I'm behind.
I can tell.
I'm always behind.
We have great value cream cheese for 96 cents. We don't. I think the best deal they have at ours is,
They got great value.
I think
Cream
you get a
cheese.
2-pack for, it's like
They
$2.70
got normal
something.
cream cheese for $1.48.
Oh. My wife makes cheesecake like that and puts fresh fruit on top. Yeah. That's usually the vanilla I make it because then people can just put whatever topping they want on top. Okay, got beaver traps, 8 foot of water, but I'm doing okay. Just go get you a snorkeling suit and get going. Hey, Wild Arrow, how you doing tonight? 11 people are on now. Yeah, it says you got 12 now. We had 5. I've had 5 this whole time, and then it went up to 12. YouTube must have been, let's let a couple people know. You know how YouTube is. You know how YouTube is. I appreciate that, Jamie.
Yeah.
Say,
I'm in bed.
well, I know you've lasted 40 minutes longer than I thought.
I will still be on your live. I'm just gonna be in
No,
bed.
your phone will be on my live. You'll be sleeping. Your phone will probably be on the floor.
I found it the other night after. How can I unplug that? That's when I found it the other day when I was watching Jeep Fam.
What you do? You get in there and you fall asleep so you can get in bed.
Wake up, butt crack of dawn.
No, please. You wake up, come here and sit.
No.
Hope you get your Fisher back soon.
Today I woke up and made muffins. You're welcome.
I've had a total of 20 hours of sleep this whole week.
I ate that one night.
I know you do.
Joking.
You're not joking.
I don't sleep 20 hours a night.
Please. Close to it. Hope you get your first Fisher back soon. You told me 2 weeks, a month ago. That's awesome. You gonna put the flower out?
No.
Do you do anything?
I'll put up with you.
Huh?
Put
Hey.
up with you.
What? No.
I gotta rearrange this cabinet. There's no room.
Well, figure it out.
Fine. Do it now. It's gonna cost you $10 though.
Yeah. So I'm getting, let's see, a total of 3 or 4 first hand this year. I can't really remember. I think 3. Because my Bobcat didn't make it. Jamie say God bless you. You what? I don't know. That's where you put them. Put them in the drawer over here. That's why they never get used, because they're up there. So, Uh, what's everybody got planned for this weekend?
Easter egg hunt.
Easter egg hunts. I think we got one this weekend.
We got two.
Two.
Pineville and Maine.
We got two this weekend.
Saturday and Sunday.
And we got like three next weekend.
No, just two. Three.
And that's just what we know about now. There'll probably be more pop up somewhere.
You know, anyway.
Working. That's a fun weekend. So Jamie, when are you going to Vegas? Hopefully you can get them pulled soon, yeah. So you didn't get very much time to trap beaver, did you? About the time you put them out, it just started pouring and flooding like crazy. He was off today and yesterday. So back to the grind. May 8th to the 11th. I got some friends going to Vegas tomorrow. The Drakes. Either this weekend or next going turkey hunting. Awesome. Yeah, all our trapping seasons are over. We only caught about 40 so far. That's not too bad. That's still better than zero. Don't think about spring. Everybody says it's a great time to catch beaver, but we get so much rain in the spring, it's ridiculous. As soon as the water starts to go down, it pours again. What are you doing back there? I thought you was going to bed.
No, you told me you finished putting away groceries.
I did not. I asked about the flower.
Yeah, and then I realized I didn't put any of this stuff away over here, so that's what I'm doing.
Flight home will be long. That's the wrong direction from your house. Will help on some of the caster bill anyway, yeah. See, I wasn't too sure what to expect from casters because it seemed in January all the sales were high on caster, over $100, and then in February they were all like $80. So, I mean that's a $30 difference, $110 and $80. That's almost as far as it could be. Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, huh?
So that's gonna be what it is tonight because I gotta rearrange.
Yeah. Good night.
Yep.
See you in a little bit.
No, you won't. Wow.
I'll see you because I'm going to punch you in the face. I'll scare Boo Boo. He'll run across you. Yeah. So I said a lot of the ones I seen, Missouri averaged $113 a pound for dry caster. And then I seen a couple other sales in February that were like 83 to 86. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just a difference in quality that people brought. I don't know. But I know a lot of people try to get extra weight out of their casters. I watched a video a while back about, what was it? NAFA? NAFA was talking about caster and buying caster and stuff like that. And they said that people were taking like medium-sized caster bags and stuffing them full of small caster bags, trying to expand them to a large caster bag to try and get more money out of them. They're like, we look at all of this, we see that, we know that's not what it is. He said, if you do that, you automatically get the lowest grade amount you can. He went through 15 pounds last year. It's a lot. It's one thing I regret. I don't regret, but again, I do. My new lure has a lot of caster in it, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Yeah. But I know our gas prices here have gone down quite a bit in the last 2 weeks. We were up to almost 380, and now we're down to 357.
I just said it was 347.
357. Yeah. Jamie, I'm trying not to raise prices. There's actually, believe it or not, there's a few of my things I've been able to lower the prices on because of I found cheaper places to get stuff. So I've actually been able to lower the prices on it. And I'm always looking for that, trying to find a way to make it cheaper so I can offer it cheaper. And I'm not saying, I'm trying to just buy, crappy ingredients. Because my main ingredients, I stick with the same stuff along, but like my jars and stuff like that, I try to find cheaper options. So, filled up the square body today, 34 for 8 gallons. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's crazy. Like, my wife's car, we drive that mainly. And used to, I put maybe $40 in it, and that would last a week. Because I always just put $20 in at a time. And, I'd have to do that twice a week because we don't drive a lot. We go to church and the post office and Walmart. That's about all the driving we do. And here lately, I have to put in $20 every other day. So instead of $40 in fuel, we're spending almost $100, and I mean that's just crazy. I'm saying, I definitely don't want to have to raise my prices. I lowered the prices on my coon syrups and my coon jam. Um, and there's a couple more that I may possibly be able to lower the prices a bit on soon too. Yeah. Well, that's one of the grown world. I might be saying that wrong, but they just posted a list of furs they're not going to buy. They said for the rest of the year they're no longer buying coyotes, possums, raccoons. I don't remember what else. It sucks when I manage a business as well and they give food away at $6 a piece. Yeah. I get it, Jamie. It's crazy one. I mean, you won't even profit that this year unless you start raising prices because, I mean, the grocery store has gone ridiculous. I mean, like, we usually buy a 60 count case of egg, and It's last month it was $9.98 for the case, and today it was $15. So it had gone up over $5 in 1 month. That's just eggs. The bag of cheese we buy a big bag of cheese, and it was $12. Well, today it was $16. So with prices going up like that, I mean it's gonna start getting real hard. I mean a 5 pound bag of chicken cost, was it $18, something like that, $17. I mean it's just going ridiculous. It's a bit lopsided to the corporate end. 'Cause I get, yeah, yeah. And say right now, I think skunks are your best bet. I mean, everything on a skunk's worth money. The meat's worth money, the fat's worth money, the hide's worth money, the essence worth money. I mean, everything on a skunk is worth money. Cheese and meat prices are crazy, yeah. Well, just dairy prices in general, even milk is ridiculous right now. I mean, a gallon of Highland milk right now is $5.40 at our Walmart. That's awesome, Billingsley. I'll definitely be ready to watch them. Yeah, it's definitely crazy. I mean, even the things you wouldn't even think about. I mean, bananas in the last 3 months have almost doubled. At Walmart, they were 47 cents a pound, and now they're 66 cents a pound. Yeah, Jamie, I know, I believe it. Chicken is one of those things that has gone ridiculous. I mean, used to we'd buy a 10-pound bag of chicken breast for $18. Now it's 27. Yeah, it's just crazy. It was like we was gonna buy our daughter some blueberries because she loves blueberries, but a little pint of blueberries was $5. It's like $4.98. I was like, I'm not paying $5 for a little pint of blueberries. Like that's ridiculous. Those were $3.20 2 months ago. Yeah, that's what sucks about the uh, chain restaurants is because they have set prices. So it doesn't matter how much food cost goes up. You can't change prices unless corporate changes the price. But then you get in trouble for having a high food cost. And then once your food cost is too high, they want to start getting rid of your labor to make up for it. Then you're understaffed. Well, then you start getting people screwing up, and yeah, it's. I will never work in another corporate environment in my life. I promise you that. If everything I'm doing right now fails, I will never work in a corporate environment ever again. That is a promise. Actually, if what I'm doing now doesn't work out, I know what I want to do. But yeah, so that's not too bad. 29% food cost not bad because the main goal is your food cost to be under 33%. So 29% is pretty good. 25% is better, but 29 is pretty good, especially for a chain place. Labor at 100%. Yeah. I know. I hate corporate environments. I was talking to somebody the other day. They were talking about how they used to work somewhere, and I said, I'll never work in another corporate place. They're like, why? I said, because it doesn't matter how much work you do. I said, they always make you feel like a roll of toilet paper has more worth than you do. We're the lowest food in our area because we have 90% online order. Yeah. So they said, of all fast food restaurants, what one profits the most money? I've heard this from many people. I've heard this from many chefs. And this is like a known thing that many people talk about. Most people can't get the answer right. People that work in the restaurant industry can probably guess the answer right, but most of the majority of people will never get it right of what fast food restaurant profits the most. And I don't think I'll ever get back to cooking either. Yeah, 20 years, yeah, it's definitely a long investment. Wow. And how long do you get before you could pull a retirement from that job? Or you just take some money and pay for the, take some money and open up your own um, chain, your own location. There's a lot of fast food restaurants that have competitions for their employees to enter, and a lot of them, the winner of the competition will win a um, franchise location in their city that's theirs. Yeah, yeah. Railroad's definitely a good job to have. Pays a lot of money, but I don't know if that's something I could get into. Yeah. No, it's not Taco Bell. See, most people guess McDonald's and Taco Bell just because they're like two of the main fast food places. But like, Ja- Jamie should get it. If you think about it, it makes sense. What fast food restaurant profits the most money? Not does the most in sales, profits the most money. Yeah. My investments and my money is all in my company. So I'm building up my thing. Yeah, it's a chain fast food restaurant. What chain fast food restaurant profits the most money? Not the one that makes the most in sales, but the one that profits the most. I'll tell you, it starts with an S. Been in crypto for 5 years. Made a ton of cash. Yeah. My problem is, you gotta have money to start stuff like that. It's not. Starbucks isn't really a restaurant. It's a coffee shack. I don't know nothing about Starbucks. I'm sure Starbucks does because they charge a stupid amount for their stuff that ain't worth a dime. It's not Subway. It's Sonic. Sonic profits more money than any other chain fast food restaurant. Simply because about 300 a doggy coin and sold 400 a few days ago. Yeah. But the reason why Sonic profits the most is because they don't have a waiting area. Like, they don't have a front end at all. They don't have bathrooms to maintain. So they don't have to have, the 4 extra employees that have to clean the tables, run the registers, clean the bathrooms. They don't have any of that because you sit in your own vehicle. So literally the only thing they have is the trash cans outside that they have to empty. So that's why they profit so much. Yeah, that is a good turnaround. From 3,000 into 116,000 3 months. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing about that is you turn 3,000 into 116,000, you're gonna end up spending, 25 of that in taxes. So you've really only got what? Say probably 85,000. Yeah. I don't have my money in any stocks. To me, stocks is just like gambling, and I don't like gambling. I don't like doing any of that stuff. Uh, I guess the closest to gambling I do is raffles. But like I said, you got to have money to do stuff like that. I ain't got it. So the show that I sponsor, the show that I sponsor, the TV show that I have my commercial on, aired its first episode on Sunday, and I don't have satellite, so I can't watch it, so I don't get to see it. But I'm hoping that helps a lot. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, when you're talking about I've heard so many like rich people that talk about the Dogecoin and Bitcoin and stuff like that. They're talking about how, yeah, there's so many people right now that are making a lot of money on, but there's going to come a point in time when it's not going to be worth anything, and there's going to be a ton of people that are going to be in trouble, like a lot of trouble. It's like, what was it back before my time? I I think it happened in 2008 and maybe a little in 2012 when there was like hundreds of thousands of people that lost their 401ks because there was a bunch of banks that went bankrupt and the government kind of went bankrupt, and I mean people were losing their 401ks. The social security was canceled for a while. I mean it was ridiculous. So eventually I'll get, when I get my business settled down, I'll get into different things for retirement, but right now I ain't got the money to do that stuff. Instead of buying stock in other companies, I'm putting my stock in my own company. Yeah, 2008 was a really bad year for that, yeah. I'd say that was before my time. In 2008, I was a junior in high school. I think probably. Maybe a freshman. I don't know. I would have been, let's see, that was 10, 14 years ago. I would have been 14 or 15 in 2008. Yeah. Man, that's the thing. I hope it works out. That's why I'm trying to go in many different directions. Like I'm mainly in the trapping part of it, but I'm going also in the fishing direction. I'm gonna go in my cooking direction. Like, I have my seasonings. I'll have a hot sauce that I'm working on. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm saying I gotta do it slowly. I'm really hoping the TV show. I know it's not going to absolutely turn everything around, but I'm hoping it helps get my name out some. He said that they average 40,000 views per episode when it first airs. That's not including reruns or anything else. Because the show is not only on the Pursuit channel, but it's on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on uh, Carbon TV. You can watch it on the Pursuit Up app. And he said he's working on having their own Amazon channel. So if I'm with Goofy had to reset it, it happens. A little bit older, graduated from high school in 72. Just a little bit. Man, it ain't no big deal. I'm still seen as the kid from everybody. It's a good idea, Billingsley. That's the thing. I mean, because my thing is, it's not. I try to tell people it's not about the money, but then it is. Then again, it is because I'm still trying to keep the lights on in my house and have food on the table. So it is about the money, but it's not. It's not like I'm trying to get rich, but I love doing what I do. I enjoy it, and I want to keep doing it. So for me to keep doing it, I'm gonna have to expand a little bit because trapping season is, again, it's a season. So, I mean, I kind of got to get in the directions of different seasons, like the fishing season and, the cooking. So, that's what I'm getting. No, you're doing great. 99% of people your age don't know the business. Yeah, I know that. And it's funny because when I had my outdoor store, I opened in 2018. It's almost 4 years ago. So I was 24 then, I think. But a lot of the people that came in there thought that like it was my mom and dad's place and I was running it for them. I was like, no, I own it. And they're like, oh, you own it? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, they're like, that's cool. They're like, did your mom and dad give you the money for it? And I'm like, no. I mean, it's all me. Like this is all me here. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. They're like, how'd you do that? I was like, work a lot and sacrifice a lot. I mean, you can't better yourself if you're spending all weekend getting drunk and being at the casino and the bars. Like, you can't be successful and do that. Like, that just don't happen. That's what I tell people. If you want to be successful, you're gonna have to be okay with working all the time. That's what I tell people. I said I'm always working. I said the only time I don't touch my phone is when I'm at church, and when I get out of church, I automatically have at least 45 minutes worth of stuff to do. Emails to respond to, messages, and just crazy. That's all I want to know. Let's try and check yourself. I appreciate that, Jamie. That's crazy, PA. No one sells carp specialty stuff. When you go carp fishing, are you snagging them? Cause see, the thing about fishing is it's really hard to sell fishing stuff online because there's, I mean, millions and millions, if not billions, of options of fishing stuff. Whether you're going to different companies directly or if you're going to Amazon or Walmart or whatever. So, because that was my problem before. People would come into my store and like I didn't carry Zoom and stuff like that. Uh, there was a company that I could order bulk stuff from for, I mean, cheap. And what Zoom I did carry, I got from them. And people would always be like, "You need to get Zoom. You need to get Zoom." And I'm like, I, I mean, what you see is what I'm gonna have because Walmart's, less than 4 miles from me, and they have Zoom. And if I get Zoom, and if I'm 20 cents more per pack, everybody's gonna come in here and tell me that. I said, and that's I don't want that. I make dough balls for carp. No, I hook them in the mouth. Hmm. I've never even looked into carp baits or attractants or anything like that. All right, Ben. You have a good night. Thanks for stopping and chatting with us. Yeah, like I was saying, there's a few of my lures that I've been able to lower the price on, and have a couple more that I think I'm going to be able to lower the price on soon. Oh yeah, Jamie. I've never hooked one. I've never hooked a carp. I know our creeks that I fish at a lot have a lot of sucker fish. That's one of the best oils for trucking. Yeah, there's a lot of people that use carp to make fish oil. Uh, I'd say I think one of the best fish oils is spoonbill oil. And it is, spoonbill oil is totally different than like carp oil. You have money in hedge funds, PE funds, things you can't invest in unless you have high net worth. If market up by average 10% of market drops. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, when it comes to markets, it's like I don't want to invest my money into somebody else's business and hope that it does good when I can invest my money into my business and hope it does good. Now, I mean, somebody else that doesn't have their own business, that's one thing, but like for me to have my own business, I would rather invest in myself and hope I can get me successful. If that makes sense. Ran a bait shop for 13 years. Live bait is your bread and butter. Tackle is a convenience to your customers. Yeah. And that's the thing, like when I had my outdoor store, there was a hook, line, and sinker bait store, which was, I'd say 10 to 12 miles from me. And they've been there for years and years and years and years and years. And it would be really hard to get people to my shop when I had it. I thought about getting into minnows and stuff because I had a lot of people asking about minnows and crickets. But I there was a shop that I talked to that I could buy minnows and stuff from. I was talking to them about tanks and stuff, and I didn't ever have the money to invest in the tanks because it was going to be like $1,500 just to get a small tank made up. And I mean, if you're not selling them fast, you're just throwing them all away because they don't live long in the tank. That's what he told me. He said if you buy a bunch of minnows, he said you want to be able to sell them all in 2 weeks, maximum 3 weeks. He said otherwise they're all gonna die. He said you can already guarantee that about 30% of the ones you buy are gonna die. He said, but after 2 weeks, you'll start seeing 60, 70, 80% of them die. So, during trout season, not use no worms, yeah. Yeah, see, the thing about it, though, is you gotta be a little more. I mean, you can't really do that anymore. Because I looked into it, and there's different laws that you have to abide by now because it's a living animal. You have to keep your water at a certain pH level, and you have to have a certain filtration system, and all kinds of crap. You gotta have at least what is it? I don't even remember. It's been so long. It's awesome. Hey Fisher, how you doing? Yeah, Billingsley. So I thought about it, but I never had the money to build tanks and stuff for it. Right now, I'm trying to get the storefront done now so I can have an actual store here again for my trapping supplies and whatnot. But it's one of those things you gotta have the money for it. But my main goal this year is to get my name out enough, at least enough, where I don't have to like struggle by, if that makes sense. I'm in Missouri. Creek chubs are the best. Yeah. Sitting in a bed in Arizona at your grandparents' house. That sounds like fun, Fisher. But I'm in southwest Missouri. I'm right on the Arkansas line. Yeah, one of my favorite baits is just using a rooster tail spinner, small one, or Arky jigs. They make a crawdad, just a crawdad. It's only about an inch and a half long, and I catch a lot of fish in our creeks with those. Lots of smallmouth and perch and stuff like that. 3.2 acres of woods, 5 miles from the Lake of the Ozarks. That's awesome. Now I am literally, if you take my dirt road, I'm about 2 miles from Arkansas. I have an uncle who lives in Little Rock, and I've been there. Little Rock is about 5 miles, or 5 miles, good lord, 5 hours from me. Somewhere like that, close to 5 hours, somewhere around that time. I've never really been to Little Rock either, so I don't have a reason to go there. Uh, this year we're still trying to figure out if we're gonna how many of the conventions we're gonna make. I know gas prices are starting to drop, and I hope they continue to drop. So that'll definitely make it a whole lot easier to make it to conventions. From Harrison. I'm not too sure. I'm not real sure where Harrison is. I know we are about an hour from Fayetteville. About an hour north of Fayetteville, if you know where Fayetteville is. Or the East Coast. So that's funny because I've always been west. Literally, the farthest east I've ever been was Illinois, and that was literally taking the wrong road in St. Louis and crossing the river into Illinois, turning around and coming back. Uh, we're like almost right in the middle of Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Joplin, Missouri. We're like almost right in the middle. And drive to Colorado. I've been to Colorado when I was a kid. I know a lot of people like Colorado. I don't care too much to go. I really want to go to like Wyoming, uh, Montana. Those are kind of the places I want to go to. I've always wanted to go to Maine. I'd love to go to Maine. I always tell my wife, like, if we ever go, like, see the ocean, everybody wants to go to California and Florida and stuff like that. Screw that. I want to go to Maine. That's where I want to go. Yeah, our gas here has went down like 30 cents so far in the last month. I'm hoping it keeps going down. Yeah. I don't know about moving there. I at least want to go see it before I decide moving there. But I definitely want to go someday. Let's see, like out west, I've been to New Mexico, I've been to Colorado and places like that, but it's been a long time, like back when I was a kid. You know, I say we're down to 340, 357. I think it was 357. It's either 357 or 347. I think it was 357. But we was 379 for about a week. The 3M's, huh, PA? Hilton Head is nice for beaches. Yeah. Did trapping and rodeo, seen much of this country, yeah. I got to see a bunch of it last year going to conventions. Uh, Definitely went to places I ain't never been before. I ain't never been to Nebraska until we went to the convention last year. And then when we went to the NTA, we decided to head up to Minnesota because it was only, what, 30 minutes farther to go into Minnesota. So we went into Minnesota. And then before we went home from the NTA, we decided to go to South Dakota. So that's pretty cool. And then this year, if we get to, I'm about 98% sure we are going, but if we do get to go to the NTA, that'll be the first time I've ever been to Ohio, and we might go up into Michigan. Been to Minnesota twice. Yeah, I ain't never been there. We went in there, like, we didn't really go. We went over there and peeked. We went about 15 miles into Minnesota, and that was about it. The best East Coast beaches are in Long Island, New York, North Carolina, and Florida. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the beaches. I just want to go. I think Maine would be an awesome place to go see. I would rather see the ocean hitting rocks than sitting on sand. I'm not a beachy surfer volleyball type person. That ain't me. And Jeep fam already told me you can't drive your vehicles out on the beach, so I definitely don't want to go. Alright, Fisher, you have a good night. Thanks for stopping and chatting with us. Yeah, I'm about 98% sure that we'll be in Ohio at the NTA, but it's still one of those things, you know, it's going to cost a pretty good chunk of money to get out there, so not for trapping that. Stayed at the Radisson Blue attached to the Mall of America. That's awesome. You can drive on the beach in New York. Yeah, that's yeah, I don't know. So I just Maine has always been one of the places I wanted to go see. Yeah. So there's a, out of the conventions we really want to go to, there's one, two, three, four, five, six. Six that we really want to go to, and possibly one, at least one more. So if I got to go to all the ones I wanted to go to, there would be seven. But I would be happy to make it to, honestly, like two or three of them. Yeah, you can still trap bear in Maine. Jason Hauser, that does he's the host of the TV show that I sponsor. He goes to Maine and traps a bear every year. He's the host of two TV shows. He's the host of Trapping Across America TV, and he's the host of Bone Wild TV. You take a pic of the bear my buddy killed in Maine. Some kind of citation or something, and he was getting put in some magazine. You might try this year. He has a full amount. See, as far as trapping goes, I'd really like to trap a wolf and a mountain lion. The mountain lion would be cool, but I'd really like to trap a wolf. I think that would be a blast. Alright, Billingsley, no problem. Thanks for stopping and chatting with us tonight. Hope you have a good night and hope you have a great weekend. Hope the rain goes down so you can pull your traps. Oh, Billingsley, I don't know if you're still on here or not, but I was gonna tell you, you got on Trapper Jay's live last Saturday night, and he kind of fangirled over it. I thought that was pretty cool. That'd be awesome, PA. Trapper, yeah, he's definitely a funny dude. He messaged me after his live. He's like, dude, I can't believe Billingsley was on my live. He's like, that's awesome. I was like, yeah, so that's pretty cool. So Billingsley's a great guy. I've got the pleasure of meeting a couple times. Yeah. PA, there's actually places up there that are like a guide service that they have the traps and everything. Uh, you just, you get to go out, have different locations. You get to set the trap. Like you can pick the location, set the trap, and everything. Internet vet. It's almost like a uh, dog proof mixed with a snare, if that makes sense. I know that sounds crazy, but that's kind of what they use for bear trapping. It's like a cylinder that's about this big that sits in the ground, and it's got like a snare cable restraint on it. And when they step on that, it that cable restraint just zaps onto their arm, and they can get off of it. I don't know who makes them. I've looked at them before. But yeah, Jason, he goes to a guide, and that's where he traps his bears. I think he's went 2 or 3 years now. Up in Maine. I mean, who knows? It probably costs about the same to have them guide you as it would to buy a license and a trap. Who knows? But then again, I mean, you'd have somebody that knows how to handle a 1,000 pound bear that's been trapped with a cable. Because that'd definitely be something to come up on. 1,000 pound black bear and a cable restraint. That'd be interesting. That's for sure. I appreciate you all coming on here and chatting with me tonight. I know I started this one pretty late, but I don't ever expect too many people to get on when I start late. So, I mean, to see that we've had 15 people on here that's awesome. Senator, I said I don't know who makes them. I know it's like a cylinder. I mean, it's probably 6 inches, and it like sits on the ground, and then you have a cable restraint, snare, whatever you want to call it, type thing that goes from a tree to the cylinder, and it like sets on top of the cylinder, and then when they step in the cylinder, it yanks it tight onto their arm. Talking about going to southern West Virginia to Big Stone. I would. Nick Biggs is an awesome dude. Uh, I've known him for quite a while. I've talked to him quite a bit. I donated a bunch of lures to his event last year. I mean, I probably sent 30 or 40 bottles of stuff up there last year to help support his event. He tried to get me going up there, and I was like, man, that's just a long ways. He's like, oh, come on, come on. I was like, that's a long ways to go up there for a 1 day event. I'm saying you can trap a smaller bear in like a smaller trap, like a 650 or something like that. But um, yeah, bears are pretty strong and very violent. I mean, if you catch like a 300 or 400 pound bear, that's one thing. But if you catch a 900,000 pound bear, I don't know if a number 3 or number 4 trap is gonna hold them too much. Yeah, a modified M15 trap. Hmm. Yeah. See, all the bear trapping I've seen, it's like a cylinder type thing with a cable that sits over it. It is, but I think you would love the state. Yeah, I probably would. One of these years, I might. So I tell people when I am more established and not like right now, I'm still a small guy that's still, working like a mofo just to get by. So going to these conventions that are hours and hours and hours and hours away costs a lot of money. So, in a couple of years, hopefully, when I'm, you know, settled and more built up, I can afford to go to some of these bigger shows in, Michigan or Pennsylvania or New York or whatever. Kind of like an egg trap, yeah. Well, makes a bear trap as well. Say it's the ones I see. It's not like the foothold that you always see, like the huge foothold that's the size of your dinner table. I mean, I don't even know if anybody uses those anymore. But it's more of like a cable string that's set off by like this cylinder thing. But I mean, technically here in Missouri, we don't have a. There's absolutely no restrictions or requirements as far as footholds go. So all it says is smooth jaw. So to me, a smooth jaw is meaning that it doesn't have any teeth on it. So I tell people I could use a TS-85 to coyote trap if I wanted. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know what it's made out of. Conibears. Bears. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to mess with a conibear bear that big. That's big enough to get caught in and break your neck or something. So pass on that. Yeah, conibears lost. Like we can't use anything on the ground larger than a 155, which is too small to do anything. Yeah, 155 is limit. I mean, if I want to, try to do some skunk trapping or something like that with them, but I mean that's really not the ideal size for raccoon and stuff. Instead of a killbear, yeah. Well, I mean, a conibear big enough to kill a bear. I mean, you're talking something that has to be at least 3 foot. Like the jaws would have to be at least 3 foot. And to put, I mean, you could make one like a 3 foot jaw to where you put inside like a bucket that you've screwed to a tree. Put a bunch of, peanut butter or donuts or something in there to where they reach their head in there and then done. 30 by 30 Magnum, yeah. I rolled it, but I ran off. Hitting one with a truck. Yeah. I mean, PA wouldn't surprise me. Back in the day, they had some pretty gnarly traps. I mean, and like I said, it makes sense to me. I mean, you could do an easy bucket set where you just put on a tree about 4 foot off the ground, screw the bucket to a tree, put your, whatever bait, donuts, peanut butter, whatever, throw an old blackberry pie back there, and then put your conibear. I mean, you couldn't really, you'd have to use like a 55-gallon drum to put on the tree. Couldn't really just use a bucket. I guess maybe if you got like one of those mineral buckets for cows. I mean, they're about 2.5, 3 foot wide. Put one of those up there. It was a small black bear. A video I'll post on Switch with the next one. Sounds good. Yeah, yeah. RBG has a 1022, but it's 22 inches wide, but it's still only 10 inches tall. So I mean, I think you would need at least like I think you would need at least like a 28 or 30 by 30. I mean, because you can't just think about the small bear, you got to think about the big bear too. I mean, if you're going to use a 330 for a beaver, that weighs 60, 50, 60 pounds, you're talking about an animal that weighs, 800, 900 pounds. I think you're going to need something fairly stout. I think, like, if you cut a bear's head in a 330, I think he would just get extremely, extremely ticked off. I don't think a 330 would be strong enough to kill a bear. I really don't. I mean, you're thinking their neck. I mean, a neck of a bear is bigger than a basketball. If you're talking about a full-grown bear, black bear was raiding the dumpster by a camper. PA, yeah. I remember that video. That little black bear. Yeah, I wish we could use conibears bears on land. Yeah. But, see, here in Missouri, I wish, because we can't use snares and we can't use body grips larger than 155. I would love to be able to use at least a 280 on ground or snares, because I see so many fence crossings that would be perfect for either one. And I mean, you could catch a ton of raccoons, possums, coyotes, bobcats. I really wish you could use that. See, even a 220 would be nice. I mean, at least I could go out and set for bobcats and raccoons and stuff. I mean, you could probably still catch coyotes in it too if you use it on fence crossings. But see, here in Missouri, we can use cable restraints, but there can't be any entanglement. So we can't use them in brushy areas. We can't use them in fence lines, gates, nothing like that. It has to basically be out in the middle of the field. Well, at that point, I mean, it's so hard to find a good spot that's isn't got a little sapling or something around. So, I don't know. I thought about ordering a dozen or getting a dozen or so to try out, but I don't know. As I think about everywhere I trap, I can't hardly think of an area that would be good for one. I can think of a few areas that I could use one, and I mean that's it. Yeah, we use drags. I use this year. I had 6 drags, and I'm wanting to switch to mostly drags. But see, the way that I use my drags is I just buy the cheap 2-prong like coyote ones. I have some more of the heavy duty ones, but uh, I like drags because our ground here is super hard. It's hard to drive an anchor and it's hard to pull an anchor. So I'm wanting to switch to mostly drags. But the way I do it is I just wrap the drag around a tree and hook the chain through the drag. So it's basically anchored to the tree. But then again, if they get it worked off the tree, there's a drag there that can be a backup just in case I do get it off the tree. So, I don't need the big saber tooth drags or anything like that here. But yeah, PA definitely. I know a lot of people that use, like I see it in Louisiana, Dunlap and them was down there trapping beaver, and they can use the 330 on dry land, and they were catching a bunch of beaver on runs with the 330s. And I've honestly thought about, instead of drags, just using chain, just taking a chain and wrapping it around a tree and connecting it with a split ring or something, where I don't even need the drag, but I like the drag just in case they do work it off the tree. There's a drag there to be secondary, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I had spent so much time this year just trying to drive anchors and pull them. Like I can't tell you how many sets I went to this year that it took me over 100 hits to get the anchor to drive down the ground. Yeah, yeah. See, here in Missouri, we can use a 155 or smaller, but I mean, it's kind of just pointless, honestly. You part of the 330 club? No, I actually don't use 330s. I don't use any Conibears. That's awesome, PA. See, I'd love to be able to use snares and be able to hang them in fence lines. I think I could at least double my numbers if I could do that. Because, like, the main place I was on, there were so many spots in the fences I seen where animals were crossing. And I know coyotes and stuff. The one trap that I caught four coyotes in, there was a trail going under a fence. And it was about 15, 20 yards past the fence line that I caught all those coyotes in that trap. Jamie, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, see, we can only use snares underwater here also. We can use cable restraints, but then again, they have to be no entanglement, so they can't be in brushy areas, fence rows, gates, nothing like that. So, yeah, that's crazy, PA. That's like in Oklahoma. Uh, in Oklahoma, you can only run a 20 trap line unless you have a special permit. But the max amount of traps you can have out is 20. I had way more than that. I can tell you that this year here in Missouri. Didn't have any luck with snares. Yeah. Well, it's like I know there's one spot on the last place I trapped. There was one spot I could have hung four snares in the fence because there was trails, and I mean they were very well used trails that were used very often. Okay, sucks. Drove through it last week. I got bad luck. Drove through what? What, the Oklahoma rule is retarded? Yeah. Not using them correctly. So depending on what your state laws are, or even your local laws, your district law, Fence rows are like one of the best places to hang a snare. Hey, Hunt Ready, how you doing tonight? Okay. Okay. Oh, is that what you meant to put? Oklahoma sucks. Okay, I get it now. Yeah, Oklahoma does sucks, and they have horrible roads. Their roads are just like Minnesota. We went to Minnesota. I mean, it was just like you were driving into Oklahoma. You're on these smooth roads, and then all of a sudden, da 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 da. It's like, yep, here we are. That's awesome already. Say I ain't got much going on either. We're just kind of talking about this and that. Right now, I think we're talking about trapping laws. What trapping laws are like in your state, and which ones are retarded. I know Ohio has some horrible trapping laws. Uh, Illinois has some not great trapping laws. Oklahoma has some trapping laws. In Oklahoma, you can't use condom bears, period. Like, period. Not even in water. You just can't use them, period. And, yeah. And then, of course, there's states like Oklahoma where you can only use live, or Oklahoma, Colorado, where you can only use live traps. Now, there's some states that just have some wacky laws. Found fur in the fence and set a bunch down the line, but didn't catch anything. Hmm. Can't use snares on land. Yeah. See, we can't use them here either. See, the things in Illinois I know that they need changed is the snare and then the bobcats. Yeah. See, bobcat lottery system. Yeah, Illinois has a horrible bobcat thing. I would say there's not too many things in Missouri here to complain about. Uh, they just extended our trapping season, which is awesome. I mean, there's a few things I don't fully agree, but I don't think it really matters. But the fact that, we can trap now to the end of February and then trap coyotes into, April 15th on private land is awesome. It's the raccoon, possum, and skunk season in September that people don't like. That's the one. That's the one some of the people are against. But if you're in Colorado, call the cops because some kidnapped you. I get that. Let's say even if I wanted to go elk hunting, Colorado is not the state that I would pick for that. You can catch one fish or two bobcats. I think that's the only thing with limits. See, we don't have any limits here in Missouri. Our bobcats, we have to get tagged, which the tags are free, and otter, we have to get otters tagged, but tags are free. But we really don't have any limits, just seasons. Like, I think it was Oklahoma. I was reading some of the trapping laws, and I mean, they're crazy. I think it was Oklahoma I was reading, where you can only catch, is it like 2 fox a day? That was weird. Got to tag them too, yeah. Hippie state. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of states that are going that way. The society is making it acceptable now. It won't be too long, and I mean it's basically already there, but it won't be too long, and people, smoking marijuana will be just as common as people drinking a beer. Especially if you get to the people that do the edibles and stuff now. Yeah, I mean it's just like drinking beer now. I mean, there's so many people that do it that it's crazy. I don't know. Not my life. Don't matter to me. But society definitely changes. Yeah, and that's what they say. If it would have been anybody else, there would have been uh, definitely a different response to it. That's what they said. If it would have been just a random person that went up there and smacked him, that person would have been more than likely tackled, beaten, arrested, sued, and put in prison for years. But since it was a famous actor, I mean, he didn't even get slap on the hand. He didn't even get that. I mean, he got a standing ovation and hugs. That's what he got. So I don't know. Then again, not my life. Don't matter to me. Yeah. So they said it is very bad for the comedy world because it's going to make people think it's okay if a comedian says something you don't agree with, that you can just go up there and hit them. But that's what comedians say. If you are easily offended, don't go to a comedy show because a lot of comedy is making fun of people. Because I mean that's what comedy is, and it's so easy nowadays. I mean, some of the best comedy now is the news. You get on the news and you just laugh at it. I mean, it's ridiculous. Mm. One thing I can say is I lost a lot of respect for Will Smith, but gained a lot of respect for Chris Rock because he definitely handled that very professionally and just continued on with the show. Yeah. Yeah. Deer Slayer, were they the FB1s or the FB2s? I have some of the FB2s and I like them. The only thing I don't like about them is the steak. Because instead of just having like a bar steak, it's got the wide plate that, it's wide up top and then goes down to a point kind of. They don't stick in the ground real well. I have a hard time getting them in the ground. But the FB1s, yeah. I've never used them. Um, I do know a lot of people like them because they're quick set. So, then again, I've never used them. I don't know much about them. I just know a lot of people like them because they're a quick set. So I think the FB2s, if they had the stake that like a Bridger or Duke has, I would like them a lot better. That's even like the Z Trap. The Z Trap, it's got the stake that I like, and then they weld that big circle thing on there, and I don't like that because it's harder to get that into the ground. Here our ground is super hard, so it's hard to do that without having to stomp on the top of the trap. So, but if you live somewhere with soft soil, it's probably not near as big of a deal. You don't care for the FB1. You got one free from F&T. This was a free B2. Alright, Jamie, no problem. So I'm probably gonna head out here soon. Yes, sir. Yeah. One thing about YouTube is if they think you're a minor, they will definitely end your streaming capabilities. That's what happened to PC Outdoors. Yeah, I like the Duke DP and I like the Bridgers. I like them both. Yeah. The mystery box. It's one of those things I've done okay with, but I don't know. Like I said, we've been doing it for. I've been doing the monthly boxes for a little over a year now, and I am not doing near as many as I would have hoped to have been doing by now. And a lot of it is like people are wanting it to be state specific. Like if they live in the state, they can get stuff that's legal in their state. Well, every state has so different trapping laws and regulations that it would be almost impossible for me to look up every state that somebody ordered from and make their box just for their state. And then again, there's a lot of people that live in this state but trap in this state. So I don't know. Like I got a guy that's the last 3 months has got a box. He lives in California. Well, he probably traps in a different state. Have some Minnesota DPs. Minnesota DPs. I don't think I've ever heard of Minnesota DPs. Yeah. Hey, everything outdoors. How you doing tonight? Yeah, hunt ready. It's one of those things. It's every month comes with a couple different traps. Comes with baits, lures, tools. It's different every month, and I keep it. Um, I definitely like to change it up every month. Uh, but then again, you might get something that you can't use or don't want, something like that. But I don't know. You're at work? Well, that's no fun. I appreciate that, son. Yeah, like my commercial that's on TV is all about the subscription box. Uh, a lot of what I do with Trapper J is about the subscription box. So a lot of my advertising is about the subscription box. mainly because it's the one thing I have that nobody else offers. I'm sure eventually there's probably going to be another company that does it, and they're probably going to be a bigger, well known company and probably basically take it over. But, I mean, it is what it is. I get it, Hunt Ready. Say that the boxes, it's one of those things. It's not been as uh, successful as I would have hoped it to be, but it's been alright. And then, it's another one of those things. I try to get different things from different companies out there that people have never heard of or whatever that offer great products, whether it be tools, traps, or baits and lures. So, honestly, I think my last box was one of the better ones that I've done. Uh, because, and that's another thing, like with the people that have got boxes, I've never received a ton of feedback. When I try to ask people, they're just like, I like everything. So I don't really get any feedback. Like, if people would rather have a couple items that are higher end items or a bunch of cheaper items. So, I don't know. And eventually, I was wanting to get into having a different value of box. I thought about getting into like having like $120 value box that comes with a minimum of like 5 to 6 traps. Think about doing different tiers. Yeah, so I've thought about it, but it's one of those things I'm been wanting to get the idea out before I start doing that. Cause like right now it would be hard to. Cause my main thing right now is cause like all orders have to be in by the 15th for me to ship on the 20th, because I want to make sure I have everything for all the boxes before they ship out. So it would be harder if I, was only selling, 4 of each tier, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's one of those things. It takes time. Like I said, I've been doing it for a little over a year. We've been doing the monthly box. Yeah. All right, PA. We'll see you. Thanks for stopping and chatting with us. Have a good night, man. Sounds good, PA. Yeah, and see the another thing about like uh, Sound Sign. If I did like just Beaver specific boxes to where people could subscribe to just Beaver specific boxes, it would be hard to have different stuff every month without sending the same thing multiple times. You know what I mean? Especially like when it comes to wolf, because there's only so many wolf traps out there. There's only so many wolf specific baits and lures out there that it would, feel like that. Because I've had people ask me about that before. There was a guy. He's like, I don't do any beaver trapping. Is there a way to get it to where I don't get anything for beaver trapping? I'm like, I don't really have a way to do that. So, I mean, I don't know. Because I want the monthly box to be the same for everybody. I don't want to have to send out, 12 different boxes and there be four different kinds. Because then you're going to have people that, oh, well, I like the box that he got better. Or stuff like that. I don't know. Just the names of chairs and stuff inside. Yeah. But, like, then again, if people seen that, that's what they would think. Like, out of those three, most everybody would probably order the beaver box, just thinking that it would be beaver specific because people don't read the descriptions. Trust me. I ran into problems at the end of last week with people doing that. Because I used to have options for shipping on my website to where people could pick if their order was $150 or less, the shipping was $12.99. If their order was $151 or more, shipping was $24.99. Well, I was getting multiple people over and over and over that were placing, orders for 2 dozen traps, a hammer, baits and lures, and then choosing the 150 and under shipping and just paying $12.99 shipping. Well, I just that I got tired of that. Well, then the end of last week, um, I had somebody get very mad at me about it, and I made a post on Facebook about how when you go to checkout, there's an option to pick what shipping option you want, and people always go with the cheaper one because they just see the cheaper shipping. They click on it. They don't read what it says. They just see $12.99 shipping. They click on it. Well, in my post, I put when you do that, I put that you're basically stealing when you choose that option. Well, apparently the way I made my post came across wrong to everybody because everybody started saying that I was accusing the guy of stealing when I wasn't even talking about the one guy directly. I wasn't anything like that. So I ended up taking the post down like 4 minutes after being posted because everybody just started going off about the same thing. But anyway, I've changed the website now to where there's only one shipping option, and it is 17.99. That's the only option I have now. That's the only way I can do it because shipping traps and stuff is very, very expensive. And I can't ship 2 or 3 dozen traps for $12. Like that doesn't happen. And there's not very much money to make in traps. What is the name of your video where you customize Wolf Creek on the phone? Wolf Creek, I hate Wolf Creek traps. Hate them. I bought one, tried it out, and lost the guy up because of the trap. Everybody's told me that you need to do this and that and this so it don't happen. I'm like, I don't want to buy a trap that I got to do all this work to. I'd as soon spend a few extra dollars and get a trap that's ready to go. I don't want to buy a trap where I have to bend the jaws and bead weld them, and I don't want to have to do all this. The Diablo is a pretty nice trap. I like the design, how it's got the clean out chute and stuff like that. But I got one to try out, and I've caught 2 coons in it, and the spring is super, super weak compared to any of my other dog proofs that are, you know, I have some dog proofs that are 3, 4 years old, and their springs are way stronger than the Diablo, and it's only caught 2 raccoons, so the No BS Junior. Yeah. I'd say Wolf Creek is it's one of those ones. It is definitely the cheapest trap out there. I mean, you can get a dozen number 2 traps. What is it, like $80, $85? I mean, they're super cheap. But then again, when you get them, you got to do a lot of work to them. That's just not what I want to do. And I almost bought a couple dozen of them, so I'm kind of glad I didn't. The juniors are the Kindle's choice option. Kindle's a great guy. I got to meet him a couple times too. I've been very lucky and fortunate to get to meet some of the people I have. I told my wife we went to the NTA, and this was before. When I went to the NTA was before I had. It was before YouTube, before TikTok, before a lot of that stuff. Like I was strictly just Facebook at that time, and I told my wife it was awesome getting to meet people that I've been, I'd watched on TV, and to go up to these people and them know my name was like mind blowing. She's like, every table you go up to, they just know who you are, and I was like, yeah. I said, you're in my world. I said, I go to a trapping convention and most people know me. I go to Walmart and I'm just another dude that nobody cares about. But I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of the people I have and get to have conversations with a lot of awesome people. And a lot of the top trapper people like Kendall and Ed Schneider and just awesome people. Alan Probst. And I hope I get to go to conventions and meet them all again this year. Yeah. That's why I like the. I got some of the Duke 650 this year, and um, I really liked it. I mean, I literally took them out of the box and set them, and caught lots and lots and lots of fur with them this year. That's what I use on my nuisance job. I never boiled them, waxed them, dyed them, nothing. I took them out of the box, oil and all, put them in the ground. Caught coyotes, fox, bobcat, raccoon. And, I'm gonna get me some No BS just because I know they're good traps and Kindle's awesome. So I want to support him. So I'm definitely gonna get some of those. But those Duke 650s are one of my favorite traps. And the Alpha trap is probably my favorite trap. That Alpha is an awesome trap, but they're super expensive. That and Bill Duke is an awesome guy too. the the people that Bill Duke helps out, sponsors, donates to is awesome. You don't see people with a company like he has do the things that he does. Like how many times he's done 2 lives with Trapper J in Trapper J's shed. He's done videos with um, Coon Creek. He sponsors little channels like YouTube channels like Asher Bros. He sponsors their channel. Like that's just awesome. Your bigger companies, you're not gonna see do that. So they're awesome, and Bill Duke is, to me, Bill Duke and Alan Probst are a lot alike. They do a lot for the kids, especially, and uh, they're not afraid to help out the small guy. You know what I mean? Like that's what I tell people. Like F&T, Minnesota, all these like MB Bridgers, stuff like that. You're not going to see them people sponsor a small YouTube channel or something like that. You're not gonna see it. You're not gonna see the Cavins go and do a live video with a YouTuber. Like you're not gonna see that. Yeah, Alan's cool, but not like Bill Duke cool. Yeah, so I tell people, Bill Duke, he'll just fly his plane into anywhere and hang out with anybody. He gave you a banner and sponsorship. That's awesome. Hey, Set on Sign, you gotta start everywhere. I was under 100 subs for a long time. Tyler Outdoor Adventures Wolf Creek video. Yeah. Yeah, I hope I get to meet Bill Duke this year. I haven't got to meet him. I think I like kind of met him at the NTA. Like, I didn't really have a conversation with him, but we said hi and stuff, but that was about it. I don't really consider saying hi to someone meeting them. If I don't, have a conversation with you and shake your hand, I don't consider that I've ever met you. If that makes sense. So, like, that's what I told my wife when we went to the NTA. We went up to Jeff Dunlap's table, and, as soon as I walked up there, he knew me. We went to Alan Probst's table. As soon as we walked up there, he knew me. Jeff Haggerty, as soon as we walked up to his table, he knew me. Um, Jim Tate. There's just a lot of those people. Like, as soon as I walked up to the table, they knew me, and then I told her, I said, that's awesome. Like, honestly, that people like that take the time to get to know other people. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the times when you get up to the bigger companies, they only spend time or hang out with other bigger companies, and that's about it. So, yeah, I got to, let's see, we did 2 conventions with Kindle. I got to have, we had quite a few conversations. I thought it was pretty cool to get to meet him and become friends with him. Ed Schneider. That's where I met Trapper J, was conventions. I met Trapper J at the Missouri convention before I knew he was a YouTuber. I had heard about, uh, on Facebook, I'd heard about people talking about Trapper J supposed to be at the Missouri convention, but I didn't know who that was. And then he walked up to my table and we talked for quite a while. And this was before I even knew he really had the YouTube. And then we met again at the Nebraska convention and then again at the Iowa convention. So, yeah, I've got to meet some pretty cool people at the conventions. Definitely a lot of cool people, a lot of cool stories. I got to meet Billingsley at the Missouri convention and the Iowa convention. And I know I'm going to get to see him a couple times this year, a couple conventions. At least the Missouri convention, if nothing else. So, yeah, I've been fortunate. But anyway, it's 12:30 here, so I'm gonna go ahead and head off and head to bed. Yeah, 12:30. So I appreciate everybody hopping on here and chatting with me tonight. Hope everybody has a great night and has a great weekend coming up. Uh, I guess I'll probably see some of you Sunday night. I'm supposed to do a live with Boxy. So I'll see you all Sunday night over there if you tune in to see us. Other than that, hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping in.